Week 15 is in the books, so we're going to take a look at the NFL playoff picture heading into Week 16. I am Harrison Graham here on Chat Sports, NFL Daily coming at you starting right now. We'll go to the AFC, and then we will shift to the NFC. And how about those fighting Pittsburgh Steelers? Yeah, they've lost 3 in a row. We'll talk about them in a little bit. They're actually now as the 3 seed. Kansas City as the top seed. Buffalo coming in at number 2. We'll take a look at all 7 teams who currently hold playoff spots. Plus, Baltimore looking like they're going to make a run as well. The NFC playoff picture looks like this. Green Bay now has firm grip of the number 1 seed. New Orleans has lost a couple in a row. Big game this week between Seattle and the Rams. Lots of implications over the next couple of weeks to decide who the 14 playoff teams will be here in 2020. So before we break down the AFC playoff picture, get subscribed to Chat Sports. We're going to do this again next week, break it all down for you guys, all the playoff scenarios, the clinching scenarios, all of that good stuff. Plus, we have NFL news and rumors, mailbags, injury updates, mock drafts, and a whole lot more. Chat Sports is your number 1 stop for NFL coverage here on YouTube, so hit that big red button and subscribe today. All right, let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've won 9 games in a row, beat New Orleans 32-29 in Week 15. They clinched the number 1 seed with a win or a Pittsburgh loss or a Buffalo loss. Look, it's pretty much over. The Chiefs are going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. They have Atlanta this week. If they take care of business in that game, doesn't matter what happens between Pittsburgh and Buffalo, and they will likely rest their starters in Week 17. Buffalo Bills, they've moved up to the number 2 seed. They're playing really good football. Might be the Chiefs' biggest challengers in the AFC. Absolutely dismissed Denver 48-19 this week. Win the AFC East for the first time since 1995. Their crazy path to the number 1 seed is too complicated. Basically, it needs to be a 3-way tie between Buffalo, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh at 13-3, and a whole lot more to happen. It's not going to happen. They will likely be your number 2 seed or potentially your number 3 seed in the AFC. Now, who is playing the best in the AFC right now? We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Obviously, the Chiefs are the number 1 seed, but Buffalo's coming on strong. Tennessee's playing good football. If you think it's someone else, let us know in the comments. But KC for Chiefs, TEN for Titans, BUF for Buffalo. But let us know if you think it's another team in the comments section. The number 3 seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are trending in the wrong direction. It's very possible that they don't win the AFC North now. Just lost to Cincinnati on Monday Night Football 27-17. They clinched the division with a win or a Cleveland loss this week, but the Browns play the Jets, and the Steelers play the Colts, who are playing good football as well. That's a bad loss by Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. It could cost them the AFC North. The Tennessee Titans are currently on top of the AFC South. They hold the number 4 seed in the AFC. Big win over Detroit in Week 15. They can clinch the division with a win this week and a Colts loss. Again, the Colts play the Steelers. The Titans play at Green Bay, so that's going to be a tough matchup for Tennessee. AFC South very much up for grabs still. They'll finish with Houston in Week 17. Pretty good chance of winning the South. A win at Green Bay would go a very long way. Something that could go a long way for you this holiday season is a gift card from Fanatics, especially if you're giving someone else a gift. If you're like, oh man, it's last second and I forgot. This is the perfect gift because Fanatics has tons of NFL sports apparel, t-shirts, jerseys, hats, and a whole lot more. But maybe you don't know what your loved ones like, what size, sometimes people are in between sizes on certain gear. Just give them a gift card and let them decide for themselves. Chatsports.com/gift card. You can get them a Fanatics gift card for however much you want. They have tons of NFL gear and gear from other sports as well. College football, MLB, NBA, they have it all at Fanatics. Chatsports.com/gift card. It's the perfect last-second gift if you're like me and procrastinate your Christmas shopping. So your division leaders, Chiefs, Bills, Steelers, and Titans, those are your top 4 seeds. We'll take a look at the wild card now, starting with the Cleveland Browns, playing really good football. Took care of business against the Giants 20-6. I like the way this defense is playing right now. Baker Mayfield's played a lot better without Odell Beckham Jr. That might be a storyline this offseason that we will monitor here on Chat Sports, so you should subscribe. They can clinch a playoff berth with a win or a loss by either Miami, Baltimore, or Indianapolis. Pretty good chance they clinch this week because guess what? They play the Jets, who, yeah, they won last week, but I think the Browns will be a little bit more focused than the Rams were. Now, who will win the AFC North? Because Pittsburgh's still in the lead, but they have the Colts this week, and then it could come down to that Week 17 matchup against Cleveland. I kind of think the Browns might get it. Type PIT for the Steelers, CLE for the Browns. Let us know who you guys think will win the AFC North. Number 6 seed, the Indianapolis Colts, just beat the Texans 27-20. They're playing some good football. Phillip Rivers isn't turning it over, and that defense is playing good. And Jonathan Taylor, pretty good running back. They clinch a berth with a win, plus a Miami loss or a Baltimore loss. You got Pittsburgh on the road this week, Jacksonville in week 17. Feel good about the Colts' chances of making the playoffs. The number 7 seed, the Miami Dolphins, according to ESPN's FPI, they're only at about a 35% chance to make the playoffs because they have a tough schedule at Las Vegas and at Buffalo their final 2 weeks. They have the tiebreaker over Baltimore based on conference games win percentage there. If they win their final 2, they'll get in, but Baltimore finishes with the Giants and the Bengals. So you better win your last 2 if you're Miami, because I don't think Baltimore will lose either of their final 2 games. So who gets that final number 7 seed? Technically, the Raiders are alive as well. Derek, I know you're watching. Type your LV in the comments section. MIA if you think it's the Dolphins. BAL if you think it's the Ravens. If you're a delusional Raiders fan, hey, LV is on your keyboard as well. Let us know who you guys think will get the number 7 seed in the AFC. All right, that's the AFC. Let's take a look at the NFC real quick here. Packers currently the number 1 seed. Saints, Seahawks, and Washington round out your division leaders here. So we'll start there, then we'll shift to the wild card teams. Green Bay at number 1. They're in the driver's seat to clinch the number 1 seed in that first-round bye. Took care of business against Carolina this week. If they beat Tennessee on Sunday and Seattle loses to the Rams, there's your number 1 seed. Green Bay would clinch. They finished with Tennessee and at Chicago their final 2 games. Number 2 seed, the New Orleans Saints, couple of losses in a row. Played the Chiefs tough in Drew Brees' return, but couldn't quite get over the hump in a 3-point loss there. They can clinch the NFC South with a win or a Tampa Bay loss. That was the scenario last week. It's still the scenario. Their magic number is 1 in the South there. Final 2 games, Minnesota at home and at Carolina. So I think the Saints will get back on track and probably win their final 2 games and most likely be your number 2 seed in the NFC. Want to remind you guys to get subscribed to Chat Sports. We have the latest NFL news and rumors, playoff coverage as well. And a lot of channels on YouTube, they ramp down their coverage after the season. We ramp it up with free agency coverage and draft stuff as well. Hit that big red button and subscribe today so you don't miss any of our NFL videos. The Seattle Seahawks have moved back into the number 3 seed after, the Rams lost to the Jets. Who would have thought? Beat Washington 20-15 this week. They can clinch the West with a win because they play the Rams this week, and then they will finish with San Francisco in Week 17. Rams-Seahawks, a big matchup, could decide the NFC West this week. Now, who will get the number 1 seed in the NFC? I think it's going to be Green Bay, but there's still a few teams alive. The Saints could still get there if they get some help. The Rams and Seahawks are technically still alive. Type West if you think the NFC West winner will get it. GB for the Packers, NO for the Saints. I'm typing my GB. I think they'll win the NFC in the regular season. The Washington football team, despite losing, they still hold firm in the number 4 spot in the NFC playoff picture. They're on top of the NFC East at 6-8. That's correct. No team in the division will go above 500. They can clinch the division with a win plus a Giants loss. They play Carolina this week before finishing up with Philadelphia. I do think Washington likely wins one of their final 2 games. But now there's drama with Dwayne Haskins because apparently he was caught at a strip club after the game this past week, and who the hell knows if he'll be able to play. And Alex Smith is hurt. So I don't know what's going to happen to Washington this week. All right, we'll look at the wild card teams here. The Los Angeles Rams, the number 5 seed. That's a bad loss. You can't. There's just no way to look past it there. You lose to the Jets. The good news is they get Seattle this week, and if they win that game, they can win the West because they beat Seattle the first time. So you win your final 2 games. If you're the Rams, you can win the division. As far as clinching a playoff berth, all you need to do is win or get the Bears to lose a game. So still in really good shape there of making the playoffs. But, yeah, their division hopes took a hit when they lost to the Jets. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming at the number 6 seed, a wild game for, quite frankly, a wild team. They get it done over the Falcons, 31-27. Who would have thought Tom Brady, a big comeback over the Falcons? Never seen it before. They clinch a playoff berth with a win or a Bears loss. Their final 2 games at Detroit, Atlanta at home. I expect them to win their final 2. Maybe they get that number 5 seed, technically still alive to win the NFC South, but they need the Saints to lose out while they have to win out. And then the number 7 seed right now is the Arizona Cardinals. We're able to hold off the fighting Jalen Hurts Philadelphia 33-26 this week. They can clinch a playoff berth with a win, plus a Chicago loss. They are eliminated from the NFC West, so they will be a wild card team if they make the playoffs. But that's where things sit now. The Bears are still alive at 7-7. Technically, the Vikings at 6-8, and obviously Dallas and the Giants, and even technically Philadelphia could still win the NFC East, but those teams are not alive in the wild card picture. But I think it's going to come down to Arizona and Chicago for that number 7 seed in the NFC. Who's going to get it? Is it going to be the Cardinals or is it going to be the Bears? Let us know in the comment section, and next week we'll update you guys heading into Week 17.